In this short video, I'm going to explain the guidelines behind our spray heads placement rules. So we work differently from a traditional sprinkler system. What we're trying to do is put as much water mist as possible in and around the base of the fire. Much like if you're a firefighter using a water mist fire extinguisher. Now the reason that we do this is because we want to have as much water mist as possible entrained into the natural turbulence that a fire creates. So here's an example in our standardized testing that's about 6 meters away, and you'll see that our head pops out, scanning the room. It's pinpointed that location and then targeted it with water mist. Now this next video is another interesting one because we've got an obstruction, so our fire load is sitting on the other side, and you'll see we still get that powerful suppression and then extinguishment taking place. We are able to control the fire because there's so much water mist in around that area. So how do we translate this into the home? Well, the first thing to note is that our typical room size is about half the size of the test house where we evaluate our system. So here we've got our spray head sited in what is a good position for it, next to the light switch. You can see what our spray heads look like on the right of the screen there. Each one is engraved with keep clear and do not cover to inform people that, look, this is a safety system. And our installers will often leave a tag mounted on the unit that will inform the homeowner where they can see videos to explain how it works and even register their unit online. So when we're thinking about how to ensure that the system performs, we have to think about what is the perspective of the room from the head. So in this video, you'll see as we sweep around the room what our spray head can see. The first thing that we settled on was the spray head height. We did this to ensure that our spray head would see over the vast majority of furniture that you can buy. So the items that we needed to be aware of were things like large wardrobes and even things like fridges. But kitchen's actually a little bit easier because we've got a lot of fixed furniture in those rooms because of the work surfaces. In order to minimize the likelihood of large furniture such as wardrobes or fridges affecting the spray pattern, we assume that those items are in place next to the head unless we're in a preferred position. So here you can see one of our installers putting a spray head into our design tool, our design package, and you'll notice that the spray pattern is 45 degrees, assuming that there's something sitting alongside it. And even if I go into a corner, you'll see it reduces the spray pattern as if there was something sat alongside it. So it's this assumption that we don't have good visibility of the room that is embedded in our specification tool. The only time that we increase this spray pattern is if you put our head in a preferred position. Just to explain that, I'll show you some examples. You'll commonly find our spray heads in and around light switches and near doors. In this position, you tend to have a much better visibility of the room. Another position might be alongside window bays. So let me take you through this worked example. You can see this room comes out green, and that's to demonstrate that it's completely uncovered. Then when he drops in the spray head and he puts it, like I said, in the middle of a wall in a non-preferred position, you only get that 45-degree coverage. There's still too much green within this room. If he readjusts it, puts it in one of our preferred positions, he increases the size of that coverage, and he's protecting a larger proportion of the room. There's much less green, but in order to cover a space of this size, we're going to need 2 heads. He's found another preferred position, and now there's only a really small amount of green, which is well within our guidelines. So this is now an acceptable layout. So you can see in the final layout there is an overlap between spray patterns. One head is covering the other, so you get good coverage of the room. One final thing to mention is that our layout rules are informed by feedback from our installers. So when they go and do maintenance, they check to see if the heads are covered, and if they are covered, they can issue a notice to the homeowner to say, look, you need to make sure that this is kept clear, and that information is fed back to Plumis and evolve our design guidelines based on what actually happens within homes. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any feedback or would like any further information, please contact us at info@plumis.co.uk.